wait, what's this episode called again? I don't remember. I'm drawing a blankets.
There you go.
Welcome to HowDoWeHuman. This is the podcast where we talk about all the weird and uncomfortable micro moments in life. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Binning.
I'm that other host, Evan Cox.
And today we're talking about blankets. Getting wrapped up in them.
Yeah.
Getting wrapped up in this topic. Making it nice and cozy. But first, before we get cozy, I have to ask Evan, how you doing?
You know, I'm doing fine. We talked a lot before we were recording about what my how you doing was going to be. Because I was like, I don't think I have one. And then I remembered something that's maybe a little too work related. And then I was like, I got this story with my therapist. But then I remembered there was something just now. Remembered there was something bigger to talk about. But as every single one of these, I have a moral qualm whether I should tell that story or not. And I find myself incapable of just not saying this. But it's gross, and it's TMI. So we'll just say I'll keep it mildly broad.
Make it as graphic as possible.
I had a problem come up. It was not a problem. My time finally post vasectomy. It was my time to go in, get tested, and see if it worked.
Gotcha.
Which was a stressful idea that horrible, painful day I went through could have not been successful.
And the way they test it is they have to see if you can impregnate someone?
Yes, I have sex with a stranger.
Do that with somebody in front of the doctor.
It's another 9 months from now.
Well, I think that they would know.
Not these doctors.
Before the 9 months
not at Kaiser.
has fully elapsed if they were pregnant or not.
Kaiser has to wait the full term before they inform the parents.
Gotcha. Damn insurance rules.
No, but in all seriousness,
no,
we know how this test is done. Right?
No. I truly have no idea. I have guesses, but
Your guess is probably right. He's making me say it. I got to do something into a cup.
Yeah, fair enough.
Give him that cup. This is the first time I've ever done that. It's a thing to do. But it was my day.
Do you think everybody should do it before they die? Every man should do something into a cup?
Yes.
And then just hope the doctor doesn't accidentally get that cup confused with the cup he's drinking out of. Or she. Doctors can be women too.
Yes. They can also mistake
they,
them.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't know if you, like me, have seen this.
I do.
Okay. I've been waiting for him to say it. I don't know if you, in the same way that I have seen this come up in, say, sitcoms, other television shows, movies.
Yeah.
And when it does, you go to the doctor and they say, hey, here's our special room, because you're our special boy. You've got a special room with some porno mags.
Yes, that is the trope that I have seen.
You can use the room. Have fun. I would like to think some doctors do operate this way, but again, I have Kaiser. I used to love Kaiser, and I've really turned a leaf on them lately. No instruction. Nothing. No offering of a room. But
so you just dropped trow right there in the lobby.
Here's the issue. The test needs to be done within an hour of you doing it. Otherwise, any potential sperm may die. And they won't know. You can't just take it to any Kaiser. Only certain Kaisers do these tests. The closest one to me at minimum 45 minutes away. That's really
it's cutting it close.
Cutting it close. Too close for my comfort. So now I'm having to figure out, like, what do I do? They haven't told me, and I get why you might not want to specifically tell someone. But, like, the impression is there's not a room. You do that at home. We don't want you doing that here. So I'm trying to think of, like, what's the best option here? Because regardless, it involves me masturbating in public. So, I'm mostly just here to say that I strongly considered this, because I was like, the other thing was
you do love to go to a Target bathroom. So.
I had that thought. I love going to a Target bathroom, but the Target bathrooms are big. There's going to be a lot of people coming in and out of there. That's not great. I don't need that pressure.
Sure.
And I don't want to get caught. That's a crime.
Yeah. That is, yes.
I noticed the day of, on the paper they did give me with instructions that didn't mention this, it just says it has to be there within an hour. It says that when you bring it in...
Your sample.
Yes. So it says when you bring your sample in, you have to have written, or rather when you collect the sample, write the date and the time on the container. And I'm like, not being given a room, the obvious answer is to just do it at the doctor's office in their bathroom.
Sure.
But I don't want to hand them a container that is warm and tells them this was collected 1.5 minutes ago. That sounds terrible. So I set up something in my car, and I was like, I think I'm going to do this, where, you've got the, like, shirt hangers in the back windows. I hung a shirt in each window. Okay. And related to today, I brought a blanket. I was like, I think I can make this work. Just get, like, halfway to the office, pull over. And as soon as I got in my car, I'm like, I'm going to spend the night in jail and be listed as a sex offender. So I did just go to the doctor and use their restroom, and it was busier than I'd like. But eventually we made it happen. I chose to just not write the time on there, and that was fine. When I dropped it off, I had to fill out paperwork, and it asked, what time did you collect this sample? And I peeked at the clock on the doctor's computer and just wrote 20 minutes before that. Yeah. The other funny thing, though, is when you're bringing it in.
The catch of the day.
when you bring it in, like everyone, it's normal, you're checking in. And then when you get to the office, they're like, time-sensitive sample. Like that can only mean one thing, but it's like it echoes down the hall. 3 different people say, time-sensitive sample.
It's like Mulan, where they light the torches. So, like, the time-sensitive sample is here.
It was a weird fucking day, is what I'm here to say.
So you wrote 20 minutes earlier than the time you actually did
essentially.
It? Okay.
Yeah.
As just a way of being like, don't worry, I
wanted to keep it a mystery as to where it happened.
Gotcha.
I was bummed that I did it in the restroom where the check-in office was, and it was super busy in that area, so people were coming in and out. And then I forgot that it said that where they collected is in the basement, and that was way less populated. I could have used that bathroom much easier. It probably would have been cleaner too. Anyways, I passed with flying colors.
Hey.
So it's all good. It was all worth it. But that was an adventure.
Man, I didn't know that after a vasectomy it made it colorful. But that's interesting.
I gotta stop talking because I gotta say it. It's a compulsion. It's like cereal milk. Chris, how are you doing?
Way worse than anything else that was said.
I know, it's a compulsion. It popped into my head and it needed to be said.
A compulsion to talk about your propulsion. Anyway, I'm doing all right. This is two different work stories that both kind of fall into the same category, which is why are the general population the way that they are, or the way that they is, perhaps, is a better way to title this segment. I'm still not going to tell you all what my job is because I have to sign a thing every year that's like, don't talk about how you work here.
I'll do it.
But
he's a
the church is big on NDAs.
They really don't want anyone knowing who the Pope is.
You have heard over the last 20 years or so. They love it when people keep quiet. But anyways, these are two different things that customers have said to or around me.
Great.
Number one, somebody came up to me needing me to do my job. I'm in the middle of doing my job, so it's a perfect time. But comes up to me and it says, I would have thought your whole job would be automated by now.
Oh, wow.
Fuck off. I don't like my job, but I do need it to survive. I just don't know how to respond to something like that. Like, truly, like, it is like a speechless thing of like, what?
It's just at workplaces that these sorts of conversations happen. Like, to me, it's never really happened in just general day-to-day life. It's when you're working somewhere, someone's gonna just come up and say something weird like that too. It's just like, cool, I don't know what you want me to say to that, but you said it, and you can move on now.
Yeah, there are definitely parts of the job that could be automated, but there are other parts that very much require like a human witness for different security measures, but whatever.
Weird.
The other thing was, this was not somebody that I was directly interacting with, but I was at a workstation and someone was passing through and they just loudly, the words echo out, "You're not going to shit in here again, are you?" What? Come to find out, it's this guy walking his dog through the workplace and loudly talking to it as if it's a person. Most people have like their little dog voice that they talk to their dogs. But this guy just loudly speaks as if it's another person.
That guy's dog is named
"Don't
like
you
Harold.
shit in here again."
I love that.
Yeah.
To the first one, like, I'm surprised your job's not automated by now. To be fair, your job is like you're in the middle of a computer running on a hamster wheel to make it run.
Yeah, I am, and like that they could probably automate.
It could probably be automated. He's right,
but I need it to survive. And
it's
of course,
Snowpiercer life.
Yeah. I know. It's me and a bunch of children because I have a wiry little frame, and they keep noticing that my metabolism has slowed. And they're like, you gotta run even harder on this little treadmill.
Keep this treadmill.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. Why is "gotta go fast" so fun to say?
That's a good question.
I enjoy it as much as I enjoy the warm hug of a blanket.
Yes!
Almost didn't make it. Whew.
Oh, yeah, it was close. Do you like a blanket, Evan? Have you ever had a blanket? I mean, I guess you mentioned that you did to cover up your monkey business.
Yeah, I did. And that's a free blanket that we got during all those power outages, courtesy of Southern California Edison. We went to one of their little locations and got a goodie bag with flashlight and bottled water and a very, very thin, flimsy blanket. But we took it.
And you said, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this blanket.
Every one of these items has a purpose. I don't know if it's come up or not. I don't remember shit. But regardless, I don't think the listener knows how long this episode is in the making. Yeah. I don't even know when the first time I pitched it was. It's maybe a year ago.
I think it's been over a year since we've talked about doing an episode on blankets.
Because it's a stupid idea for an episode. Thinking,
you know, I get that blankets is maybe a dumb idea, but you guys have never shied away from doing dumb episodes.
Yeah, we strive for it.
You insisted on doing an episode where you cast horror movie characters in a baseball team.
And it's one of my favorite episodes.
It's a good one. But that came before.
So it's not even just like, oh, it's been on the back burner for a year. Like, there have been many weeks that we've been like, it's time to do blankets. And then one of us comes up with something better. So, like, we've been talking, like, specifically, we've been talking about blankets, I think, the last 4 weeks or so. Like, should we do blankets? Yeah. Nah, let's do this. Nah, let's do brevity, whatever. IT. But we're here. And it's about to be covered.
Yeah. It is. Are you winking or are you... Okay.
Covered like a blanket. Call them covers. I get down with blankets
do you feel like you have?
Great question. My God. All right. Comforters. I think we've got 2. I've got my one from my last place. So I'd say we have 3 comforters, which is a good place to be in. They bring me comfort. That free blanket from Southern California Edison. I have essentially one we've used as a dog blanket, but also turns into like a camping whatever blanket. That might be it. 5, and I'm going to ask you the same question, but also throw to you. And this is an annoying hot dog as a sandwich question.
Okay.
Is a sheet a blanket? And how many blankets do you have?
Okay. I do not think that a sheet is a blanket.
I don't either, but why? It's weird. Because that free blanket I got from Southern California Edison is, I'd say, the thickness of like a thicker sheet. I can't think of the fabric, but like a winter sheet. But it's decidedly a blanket.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why, but it is like, it's a you know it when you see it kind of thing. I mean, I'm sure that there's like fabric differences and things like that. But yeah, as far as how many blankets we have 1 comforter. We have a like heavier blanket that we'll put on top of the comforter during the winter. We have 2 quilts. I
forgot my quilt.
There are 2 blankets behind me on the couch and another blanket in the bedroom. And then next to me is a storage bench that also has 3 blankets. We had 2 other blankets that one was we threw out after the fire because it just retained the smoke smell.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then the other one, we just like, we're going to donate to Goodwill because this new blanket storage area that we have is like just not, it doesn't have space for all the blankets. And we don't use all the blankets.
Right.
But I love a blanket.
I love a blanket too. And
I've never used this blanket that we're getting rid of, and I'm the one that has had it since before we even were dating.
Yeah.
And so I've had this blanket for probably upwards of a decade and have never once used it. But I'm still like,
That's not
do
where
we
I thought
really
you were
want to get
going.
rid of that blanket? I don't know.
Interesting.
Because it's soft.
Yeah.
It's
Use
like, it's a
it.
bright orange color that like doesn't really like go with anything in the room, but
you've got an opportunity for a podcast exclusive right now. Pull that little blanket over you.
Yeah, that's true. Should I get this blanket? I can see it from where I am right now. I'll get this blanket on.
Go get that blanket. I got a blanket. So this, I forgot because we live in a place that is furnished. So it's like half our stuff, half our landlord's things. There are 3 blankets behind me I wasn't even thinking about, and the quilt. So I counted 9 in total. This blanket has an American eagle on it. Just like my house key has an American flag on it.
Yeah. Very patriotic.
Very. Gotta be. In this economy?
For the listener, I now have my Dalai Lama orange blanket on.
The bald head really sells it.
And with the red shirt I had on underneath it, like, I knew I could be the Pope, but now I can also be the Dalai Lama.
Take your pick. Which would you rather be?
That's a great question. I don't understand fully what either one of them does. So,
a figurehead of sorts.
Yeah.
To be looked at as an expert, but also criticized a lot.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I would pick Pope. I'd probably pick Pope. Pope feels like they get to live a little bit more extravagantly than
it's
Dalai
true.
Lama. And that's why I've chosen it, which obviously proves I shouldn't be either one.
Are you also ready to be the head of the Catholic Church and everything that comes with that?
I'm gonna look around the church and say, hey, we're gonna make some changes.
I mentioned it.
First of all, the Pope's gonna be allowed to fuck. Second, we gotta stop some of this fire and brimstone stuff.
Now that's a good Pope.
The 2 things I'm most passionate about: having sex and everybody being nice to each other.
Yeah, come on. We got blankets on. This is a nice
We got blankets on.
I put this on haphazardly, and it like bunched up behind my neck, and now I love the look of it.
You do look like a sunken into that blanket.
I think it's probably a term you're not supposed to use, but a bag woman. Maybe the woman from Home Alone 2.
Sure, the pigeon lady.
Pigeon lady. That's me.
Do you appreciate seeing... like we've talked in the past about how every year you see, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Blech, bah humbug.
But now there's also every year, is the Piers Morgan actually the pigeon lady? Is Piers Morgan actually the pigeon lady?
This is new to me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I feel like I see this every single year. Everybody goes, oh, the pigeon lady from Home Alone 2 looks just like Piers Morgan. Let me pull up.
Yeah, pull that up.
And they don't look dissimilar. So as you can see,
Oh, yeah.
Piers Morgan denies being Home Alone 2 Pigeon Lady. Piers Morgan is forced to deny he is Pigeon Lady from Home Alone 2.
I mean, it's funny.
It is funny because he's, he'd be a big target for me in my papacy of people needing to be nice to each other. But,
absolutely.
So it's fun that he is forced to deal with that every year. But like I don't need to see it every year.
Nah, that's funny though. I like it. I wish I was aware of it, but now I am.
Yeah.
You mentioned and are wearing a blanket you've had for a while.
Yeah.
I have a quilt that my mother made for me. She loves making the quilts. And she made this for me when I was probably, I'm guessing, my mom's going to correct me. I'm going to say 9 years old. That might not be true, but it could be. Find out next week on HowDoWeHuman. So I've got this quilt. It's got a lovely little message for my mother on it. It's very sentimental. I've had it for 25 plus years, I guess, or something like that.
Okay.
Problem is, I also have dogs, and these dogs love getting comfy on a blanket. They like blankets more than I do. And I love a good blanket. But they're
Deion
little
Sanders
claws.
must love you.
The what?
Deion Sanders must love you. You got dogs.
I got dogs. But
I hope that's a reference that everybody else understands, because my only real reference point for Deion Sanders is him being played by an improviser on Comedy Bang Bang.
That's right. They scratch on these blankets to get comfy, and there's little holes all over the place. The patches are coming off. I mean, it looks its age. And in the past, little tears have happened, whatever. My mom's able to fix that. But, like, at this point, like, almost all of the patches have just been completely torn to shreds. And I should have been more careful with this blanket. I don't know what to do anymore. I did mention it to my mom. I'm like, get to work. She's like,
yeah,
that's a teardown project. Like, I'd have to really redo the whole thing. I'm like, okay, then get to work. See you tomorrow when it's done. Do you have any sort of a sentimental blanket, a baby blanket?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. If I do, it would still be with my mom. I don't have any. Definitely don't have any here that are like truly sentimental.
You sound
like
very
that.
Suspicious.
There's some that are like,
there's definitely not.
There's definitely no sentimental blankets here, officer.
No valuable family heirloom blankets.
Yeah. Ice came to my door the other day, and I was like, no blankets here, sir. Anyway, there are some that are like, oh, I'd be bummed to not have that blanket anymore, but I wouldn't. It's not on the same level of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I have, one the blanket we had to get rid of was a blanket that was made in Peru that I bought from one of the markets when I went, which was like kind of a bummer in that respect, but not like a sentimental childhood thing.
That's still something.
Yeah, I mean, it's still like I associate it with something, like the one that I'm wearing right now. Couldn't tell you where I got this from. I have no idea. I would assume like Target a decade ago, but
Looks like
honestly,
you got it
no
from
idea.
Goku.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was training with
Upside down in
him,
an
and he was
anti-gravity chamber.
yeah. And I was like, "Can I have that blanket?" And he said, "Sure." And I was like, "Is there any other reference that I can pull for Dragon Ball Z?"
Yeah.
And he said, "You'd have to watch it." And I'd be like, "I can't do it."
And you pulled up your trunks and go Honda away from the situation.
Yeah,
almost worked.
I piccoloed this blanket out.
There we
go. And the other two blankets that are like, I guess, similar in that, like, I associate something with them. When I was a child, I was
now we're talking
like very into jungle animals.
Yeah. Zoo books.
Maybe 3 to 4 years ago, myself, my brother, and our two cousins all received blankets as a Christmas gift, and the one I have is jungle animals. And so, like, I didn't receive it as a child, but it still ties back to childhood.
Yeah.
And then the other one is a blanket that is like woven with the design of the La Quinta Resort in La Quinta, California, because my grandparents live right behind that resort. So
that's awesome.
I've been there a lot as a child as well. So I guess those would be.
That counts.
I don't remember when I got that, but yeah, those would be, I guess, sentimental in that way.
For sure.
The quilts that we have are both my wife's. They were made by her grandmother, I believe. Both of them were.
That's good stuff.
And it is like, we don't really use them, but it is nice that she has them as like a way to remember her grandmother, because and the family, because these quilts were made. But like, we don't ever use them for anything.
I would say, and probably again because my mom made quilts for a decent length of time in my younger years, probably because of that. Like, I love a quilt. Like, I find a quilt super comfortable. Just getting under a quilt and watching a movie, which is probably why my quilt's torn to shreds, because I'm not just keeping it in a cupboard. So I don't know. I hope my mom looks at that as a compliment that I use it. That it's all fucked
well
up.
Loved.
Yes, it's well loved.
We like to say.
In the alternate world where it's like untouched and in perfect condition would be lovely, but that's not what happened. What can you do? One of the main things I wanted to bring up when I pitched this episode, because hey, listen, I gotta say, I pitched this episode over a year ago and had a lot to say about this topic, and now that we're talking about it, I don't remember 99% of the shit I wanted to talk about, but there's one thing,
fair.
And that is, and I'm not
the nickname of Michael Jackson's child.
I mean, wasn't that his actual name?
No, and I looked this up today because I was like, that's his actual name, right? And apparently the answer is no.
Do you remember that?
It is not his actual name. Although, so he's born as Prince Michael Jackson II. Then his father nicknamed him Blanket because they always had him like in a blanket when the paparazzi were around.
Now they're an adult.
And now I guess he goes by, and I've only seen this in writing, so I don't know if it's pronounced Biggie Jackson or BG Jackson.
But I feel like the last time I looked was probably a long time ago now, but I do remember Prince Michael. being his name and being like, oh, he's an adult. Congrats. Because for a moment, you were hanging out of a balcony window.
Yeah. How old do you think he is? If you had to guess, because I have the age up right here in front of me.
And it's funny because this will probably just be like, no, Evan, your memories are terrible, and he's old as hell. But I distinctly remember Michael Jackson hanging that baby out of a balcony window, and that being all over the news. But does that designate how old I might have been at the time? I'm gonna say he's 30.
Evan, I'm sorry. That is incorrect.
Balls.
According to the internet.
Oh no.
He is 23 years old.
Wow. Okay. That makes sense to me, at least. That means I was older.
Okay.
Obviously, I would remember that. That's like, he can't be. There's no way he's like my age or older. Like, I distinctly remember him being like born. I don't know. I was scared and I shot low. Also, I have to make a correction. When we were talking about Dragon Ball Z, I said anti-gravity chamber, and that's just not true. It was a chamber where gravity was twice as strong, and then like 10 times as strong, and 100 times as strong. And that's what he'd worked out and got fucking ripped.
Have you seen all of Dragon Ball Z, Evan?
Here's the thing. And I do still need to get to my blanket point.
Yeah, we'll get to the blanket points.
I watched all of the original. So there's Dragon Ball. I've seen a season of that, maybe. Don't love it as much. Dragon Ball Z, I saw every episode of the original run. I fucking loved that show when I was a kid, and consider rewatching it all the time because it's fucking great. But then they made Dragon Ball GT. I never saw any of that. And now there's a new version out there, like currently running, that apparently is amazing. And I'm like, it's too much. So no, I have not seen every episode in general, but of the original run of Dragon Ball Z, yes. That show rocks.
Fantastic.
And I think should be yours and Catherine's next viewing.
I mean, we did give up on 911, so
yeah, it's good as hell.
It is time to find something new.
I recommend it. Anyways, the big thing. Speaking of the wifey, I'm not trying to get weird, but hey, we share blankets as couples.
Sure.
You know, sometimes that's hard to do. Sometimes someone rolls over and it takes some blanket with them, and you're like, God damn it, it's cold as hell. What happened? Oh, someone rolled over. We're back with the blankets, but we briefly experimented with having 2 blankets in one bed. Each of us had our own blankets.
What were the results?
We both kind of liked it. It was nice. And she doesn't use a sheet, which I find bizarre. But so I do have a sheet all to myself. I love sheets.
Yes. You and I are on the same page and going through the same thing.
Really?
My wife also not a top sheet person.
What is that about?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that people did that.
What, you're
I
breaking
thought
the
that
rules.
Everybody used the sheet. Yeah.
You're breaking all the rules.
Yeah. This is...
I don't know.
I'm a rule freak in the sheet.
Yeah.
You know?
I like it. Is that a t-shirt? Maybe.
That's a t-shirt.
I'm a rule freak in the sheets. But so I've got a sheet to myself, but then we share a blanket. I'm like, I'm not looking to push it. We don't want any extra separation, but also we're asleep. Like when you're asleep, kind of rocked just having your own blanket. I don't know. Yeah. Your thoughts?
We have not tried that. I am generally I don't know if this happens to you. Has this ever happened to you?
Mm,
You're using the top sheet.
true.
Your partner not interested.
Mm-hmm.
And so almost every single day, that top sheet is twisted and turned and out of the like bottom corners of the bed.
Yep.
And so it's essentially useless. But the rules are you use the top sheet.
Yeah.
Then the comforter is on top. Anyway.
Yeah.
So that's number one, the biggest problem.
Absolutely.
But, I generally come home late after my wife is already asleep. With our work schedules, she'll already be asleep. I gotta come in there, and sometimes I really gotta wrestle away some of that comforter so that I can get in there.
That can be rough.
When we both go to sleep at the same time, it's generally not too bad. We generally don't like lose the covers too much in one direction either way. But when we have to go to sleep at different times,
that's what makes it beautiful.
I don't know how this quite happens, but she gets cold a lot easier than I do. Mm-hmm. And so she really wants a lot of a blanket. But it sure feels like each of the top corners of the comforter get like bunched around her. And so then I can still kind of get in, but then I gotta like pull the other side out so that I can get in there. Yeah. And it's also always like, the next day it'll be like, well, if you're ever having, like, if you need the covers, just like, or whatever, like, and you can't get them out, just wake me up, and then I'll have the covers. I'm like, I know you're not going to enjoy that. Yeah. Yeah. No. These are the classic struggles of relationships.
Yeah.
Give me them covers.
Give me them.
And also put the freaking top sheet on.
Yeah.
You love freaking blankets so much. Get that top sheet up there. That's another layer.
I'm just proposing a 2-blanket solution.
The violence in that middle strip of the bed has gone on too long.
Well, here's the other problem. You talk about needing to violently wrench a blanket out. Yeah. I'll be in the same boat every now and then where I'm coming in and I gotta work my way in there. We got 2 dogs, and we let those dogs in the bed, and I would never change that. But you've met my dogs. One of them is fat as hell.
Yeah.
That dog's heavy as shit. So it's like I've got an extra like 50-pound weight in the middle of the bed. And the dogs, again, well, they love to scratch a blanket into a comfy position. So I really got to like upset the apple cart to get anything. Other than my sheets. The dogs don't want the sheets either.
I really just don't understand.
I don't either.
This we might have to investigate this.
We might have to investigate.
Like, why don't people want to use the top sheet?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, and we can investigate it later.
Yeah,
but it's come up that like, oh yeah, it's just it's added warmth or whatever. When I was growing up, I was told the top sheet is to keep you cool. I don't know if that just got into my brain as a fact, whether it's true or not. But I 100% feel like, if I've just got the blanket on me, I'm like, oh, it's a little, top sheet. Ah, that's nice. Cooling effect. I don't know. It's terrible.
Yeah. It doesn't make, the math ain't mathin'. It doesn't make sense.
And unlike a blanket, just like having a whole blanket to yourself, great. Sharing a blanket and just having the sheet to yourself is confusing.
Yes.
There's too much sheet.
It is. Yes.
I don't know. Maybe should I just get like a twin bed sheet? Is that the answer? I don't fucking know.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Speaking of good questions, how about this one? How do you feel
Hit me.
about a picnic and choosing a blanket? I just feel, I guess I say all this to say, I feel weird putting a blanket on the ground always.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I don't know if I've ever truly had a picnic on a blanket.
Let's do it.
I believe I've only gone to like a place that has picnic tables and then had the picnic at the picnic table.
Should we record an episode at a picnic?
Absolutely.
Find somewhere and record from a blanket.
Yeah, I think we should. I would also, though, even though I haven't done it, I would definitely feel that same kind of like,
getting this
I don't know
dirty.
about this. Yeah.
Shouldn't I get like my pants dirty first?
Yeah.
I put my pants before, or I guess I put my blanket before the pants.
Yeah. The blankets have to be protected at all costs.
Yeah. Unless
Pants,
they're sentimental quilts that my mother made for me when I was a child.
Yeah, then put that shit on the ground.
Hog wild with that.
Get in the mud.
I would never use that. I don't pay. I just let my dogs tear it to fucking shreds. 'Cause I'm a beta. Yeah. It feels good to finally say it. Oh, Jeebus. I mean, I don't know if there's much more to say, but I love a blanket.
How do you feel about, this is relevant to where you live,
Okay,
and not so much to where I live, but how do you feel about a nice fresh blanket of snow?
Ooh, I love a fresh blanket of snow until I have to do something about it. That sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just you know what the magical thing about snow is? When that snow first falls and it's just perfectly smooth, just covering the ground completely everywhere, it's covering the trees. Is it like what's the word I'm looking for? As an audio guy, I should remember this word. Absorbs the sound. So everything's super quiet.
Yeah.
Everything's just kind of getting absorbed in the snow. It's awesome. It's like big old massive acoustic panels taking it all in. And it's so quiet. You love to see it. Blanket of snow. You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. And especially where you live, where you can take that fresh blanket of snow and go sled down your driveway.
You've done it.
Good stuff. I have done it. It was fun.
I felt bad because it was you guys were trying to go home, so I was like plowing the snow. But then you guys started sledding. I'm like, well, should I stop and maybe we just have some fun for a while?
Yeah, I mean, it is like, yeah, I mean, it's fine. It would have been, like we were trying to leave, but also like
sledding's fun.
It's how often are we able to have a snowball fight or go sledding down a decent sized slope?
It's true. I take it for granted now. Yeah. I'm sorry. I ruined everyone.
That's all right. That's all right.
Is that it?
I think so.
That's all the blankets in the world. But here's a bad joke that I never told because it doesn't work or entirely make sense. But I feel
is
like
this a peek into your stand-up?
It's a peek into material that was never even attempted.
Right.
But it's like Like insurance. Okay, I'm not going to tell a joke. I'm going to give you the concept of it.
Okay.
Because I never
You're
figured
gonna
out
give
how
me
to
all
say
the
this. I feel like there
all
is
the
a
clues,
joke
Mr. Police.
I'll give you all the clues, Mr. Police. Insurance companies are always touting that they have blanket coverage. Because it covers everything. But I find blankets to be kind of limited in coverage. You see where this doesn't work.
I see where it doesn't work, but I see
but you see what I'm talking about.
It could get to.
There's a funny joke related to this. Not very funny, mind you.
No.
This is
a mildly amusing thing, yeah.
A thought I had and wrote down. That's all. Thanks for listening to HowDoWeHuman. Thanks for listening to HowDoWeHuman. We hope we didn't instruct you to, but we hope you've also wrapped yourself in blankets while listening and got comfy. And we hope your blanket situation is fucking rocking. And if it is, wrap yourself up, pull up that phone, and look up some more episodes of HowDoWeHuman, because we're out there. We're out there in these sheets. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find us anywhere you try to look, but keep trying. Listen to us everywhere. You can start this podcast on every platform at the same time. Get all your friends together. We're on Amazon Music. That's first and foremost. We're on Apple Music. We're on Spotify. We're on Podbean, Pocket Casts, etc. You can't go wrong. And if you want to find links to all those places, because the search is hard to make work, you can find us on social media. That's easy to find because we got those handles. We're on Instagram at HowDoWeHuman. We are on Facebook at HowDoWeHuman. We're full video episodes on YouTube at HowDoWeHuman. And you can send us an email. And that email is howdowehumанpod@gmail.com. You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
You know, we also have stopped talking about it, but there is still, I guess, a survey that you could take about this podcast.
Someone
on HowDoWeHuman.
That's what I said. Someone took our survey, and we salute you.
Yeah. So make sure you do that shit. Anyway, let's take a quiz. Evan, I believe the gap closed slightly the last time we took this quiz. The score is you still ahead, as you have been this entire time. 59 points to my 58 points. And the first question today. Which philosopher's preserved middle finger is kept on display in Florence? Immanuel Kant, René Descartes, Machiavelli, or Galileo Galilei?
Galileo Galilei. Till the sweat drips down my balls.
I have my answer. I don't. I'm not confident in it really at all. It's just
I know all these names.
Yes, me too.
And
a rare feat for the two of us.
Very little else outside of that. But I feel like one of these was a little shit. And we might want their middle finger, so I'm going to guess them. Are you ready?
I am ready.
I'm going Machiavelli.
That's what I'm going with as well.
With his little prance.
Yeah. Is having your little middle finger Machiavellian? I don't know. We're going to find out. It was Galileo.
Galileo. Which African country renamed its capital from Leopoldville in 1966? DR Congo? I'm not sure.
Dr. Congo.
I know. I was really trying not to say Dr. Congo.
Go to you, sir.
But doctor. Ethiopia, South Africa, or Nigeria?
I have my answer. I don't know if it's right, but I'm trying to just stick with my initial guesses.
Yeah, that I've been trying to do that, and it has gone poorly for me.
Yeah,
lately.
it doesn't really work out very well, but that's what I'm trying to do. I'm between. I was between two, but I have the one
I'm going
I
first.
feel is more accurate.
It sucks. I'm going Dr. Congo.
That was the other one I was thinking of, but I'm going South Africa.
That was the other one I was thinking of. Fuck.
It was Dr. Congo. All right, question number 3. According to Lenin's famous quote,
I am the walrus.
That's right.
More Big Lebowski references.
Soviet power plus what equals communism? Equality, electrification, industrialization, or education?
I mean, I know what makes sense, but I'm trying to contextualize
yes,
this.
I'm in a similar situation.
It's not a famous enough quote, Lenin.
Yeah. Try harder next time, dear. I have my answer.
I can't get past the one answer, so I guess I'm gonna stick with it. I'm saying equality.
That's what I'm saying as well.
I don't like it.
It was electrification, the one that I ruled out immediately.
The one that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Great. We're smart. Which of these cities does not have a Guggenheim Museum? Bilbao, New York, Copenhagen, or Venice? I didn't know there were this many Guggenheim museums.
I also did not know there were more than one Guggenheim museum.
I know where one is.
Yeah, me too.
So that's a start. Which city does not? I've got an answer. I'm not confident in it, but I've got it.
I'm between 2, and I think I have my answer as well, and I'm not confident in it either. But I'm going with Venice.
I'm also going with Venice.
Okay, let's see. It was Copenhagen, one that I thought for sure had one. Let's see if I can get a single question right today. What psychological disorder involves the belief that one is dead? Boanthropy, Munchausen's, Cotard syndrome, or Capgras syndrome? Well, this sucks because I've only heard of one of these, and I think that it's not it. So,
yeah. Listen, I don't always agree with this person, but I'm gonna have to go along with Mary. Can't remember her name now. Cotard.
That's the one I'm leaning towards also.
Saying it, well, hey, do what you gotta do.
I know.
The times you've gone with me haven't gone well for you this time.
No. The times I've gone apart from you have not gone well either. So
Marion Cotard. That is her name. Right?
Marion Cotillard.
Cotillard. It's like, is it Marillion?
Yeah, that's where the double L is.
Yeah.
That is the one that I was leaning towards also. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. The one that I feel like I've heard of and even though that's the one I've ruled out immediately, was Munchausen.
And I know what it is, but this is where we're gonna find out there's also a factor of it that involves believing one is dead.
Exactly. Oh, we both got it right. So the score differential does not change.
You love it when you get a question right and it says just not your day.
Or I apologize. It does it change? I can't do math right now. Evan, you have 61 points.
Good.
Oh yeah, and I have 59. So you You do move ahead.
You're still too close for comfort.
Yeah, well, I have been almost this entire time and can't seem to make anything happen.
No, but you get close. You're getting closer, even if you just took a step back. It's 2 steps forward, 1 steps back.
One steps back.
One steps back in a forest. Does it make a sound?
I'm too close for comforter. Am I right?
That's what we're talking about. By Lanket.
By Lank. Okay, by Lanket.
Okay, by Lanket.